All right, thanks for joining us. We're getting closer to wrapping up the end of the weekend. We're starting next week, and we're heading into a period, Sunday and Monday, warmest and windiest days of our forecast period. Now, there's not a whole lot of hazards with that increased warmth because we're still going to remain below record thresholds for many areas on the western slope, but we are going to rise above the averages for this time of the year. Again, it's not that bad. It's a great weekend, even though it's been feeling like fall lately. This is a little taste of summer. In fact, this is going to be considered our last blast of summer for both Sunday and Monday with our warmest days in the forecast, but also our breezier, windier days in the forecast period. And that comes with a hazard in and of itself, the wind and the dry conditions. I expect to see fire weather watches and red flag warnings, not for all areas of western slope, but for some areas of the western slope. We should pop those RFWs into Monday because that all occurs ahead. Remember, we get those storm systems, those low pressure systems, cold fronts swinging out of the Pacific Northwest as they cruise across the western third of the United States into the central. It draws up all that wind and all that warmth out of the desert Southwest. So that's why we're going to experience some of the breezier conditions. Now, that all changes when we get into the middle of next week because our high pressure system will relax a little bit to the south and to our east, incoming low pressure system, and we have a kicker. We have a tropical storm kicker that should merge up with what's happening on the west coast, and I'll show you that in just a moment. But when we look at temperatures, yesterday we struck really close to the averages, spot on for many locations. And for many locations, 79, for example, at Montrose, that's the average for this time of the year. For Grand Junction, it's 83 this time of the year. So Sunday and Monday, today and tomorrow, we're going to be experiencing the warmth. We saw it today, we saw it on Sunday, we're going to continue to see it on Monday, a little bit here and there. We're not going to set records, but again, we are going to be warm. And this is one of the reasons why I say it's the last blast of summer because the autumn equinox happens late next week. I always like it on the 21st, but this year it's going to be on the 22nd, which is, a difference that makes no difference is no difference. But with the seasonal transition late next week from summer to fall, it's going to feel every bit of fall in the next couple of days, whereas now it feels every bit of summer. Here's that trough of low pressure developing on the west coast. It originated in the Gulf of Alaska, and it has been dropping down. Along the base of this trough, we've had a lot of energy moving through. That's one of the reasons why my rain forecast bust on Friday, because that energy kept coming through in waves. I think we ended up with 5 or 6 rounds of light rain showers moving throughout the day as a result of that placement. So with that being the case, we're in a drier pattern. We've been in it since yesterday. We continue to dry out. We continue to increase the wind speeds. This cutoff low pressure system drops a little further Monday and Tuesday, but at the same time, there's a tropical storm system down in the eastern Pacific, just north of the equator, that's working its way up the Baja Peninsula. And just like last week with Tropical Storm K, which was a former hurricane, just like last week, it waited patiently. It started to infiltrate a little bit into the desert Southwest, and then eventually got caught up into the flow with this low pressure system. The same thing is going to happen. It's going to get caught up into the flow and sweep right through the region. And it's not going to be cut and dry Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, done. It's going to begin as early as Monday night for some of the mountain zones in the Four Corners region, and then it's going to continue Tuesday. It's going to continue Wednesday, Thursday, and it's going to linger into Friday afternoon. It's not going to be a quick exit, and it will affect our temperatures, but it's also going to fill our rain gauges up, and I think that's the more important thing, especially as we get into the fall season. It's going to feel every bit of it for the middle of next week. So saying goodbye to summer, that's what we'll do next week. Here's the situation for the weekend. This is what we've been experiencing, high pressure system just around the, we'll call it central Texas, but it gets nudged by that low, and that low is going to swing through, and we have it swinging through right in the middle of next week. Very similar to what we had last week. This is what we have going on. So we do anticipate another day of wind and another day of warmth to start the work week, and then as we get into that work week, you're gonna need those rain boots, the galoshes, the wellies, and you'll need that umbrella or that rain jacket. Nothing wrong with keeping that handy for much of next week.